history repeats itself, first as tragedy, then as farce. A very famous man said that, and we'll tell you who said that deeper in the episode, but I'm gonna tell you who he said it about. He said it about the subject of today's episode, Napoleon III. Do you know who that is?
No.
No, because you're thinking about Napoleon I. I'm talking about Napoleon III, his nephew, who just loved cooing. Oh, that's right. He loved a coup. Here I go cooing again. That's Napoleon III, and this is a podcast called Too Many Tabs. Here I go cooing again.
Remember to smile.
Welcome to Too Many Tabs, a podcast where a husband and wife duo sit next to each other at a table, and you're probably watching this full of Thanksgiving dinner. I hope you have sweatpants on.
Yeah.
I hope you have all of your leftovers.
Yeah, this is a gobbler. This is gobbler moment.
This is gobbler
People
moment.
don't know what gobblers are.
Well, there's a gobbler that people can make at home, and then there's the Wawa gobbler that I live on because, again, Pennsylvania gas station food.
Yeah.
But none of those matters because if you're watching this, you're either listening to it on your way to work or it's Sunday at noon when these episodes always drop, and you're either watching us on YouTube, listening to us on the Patreon, or you're listening to us wherever you get podcasts. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment, all those fun things. But Mrs. P,
Yes.
Usually this is a show where one of us does research, and then they lore dump all over the other.
Yes.
But as we said, this episode is coming out after Thanksgiving, which means we recorded it before Thanksgiving, which meant
Which means I had no time.
none at whatsoever. She's had no time.
There's hundreds and hundreds of deviled eggs to be made.
I know, 100%.
I grew the sweet potatoes.
She really did.
Could create the sweet potato casserole. It's a lot of work's gone into this.
Which is crazy because I actually was listening to the radio and they're like, sweet potato prices are through the roof. I said, not in my house.
Not my house.
We got dirt, sweet potatoes right from the PA dirt. But what I wanted to say is I did the research on the episode this week. And it's a history episode. And it's a throwback.
Okay.
Because a thing happened earlier this year. And I started looking around and I went, it feels like coup season.
Oh, coup season.
Yeah, and so I looked into history. I said, who loved coups more than anyone else?
The president.
But no, not the current president.
Oh, okay.
He does love a coup.
Loves a coup.
But the thing is there's this thing in history where history likes to repeat itself. There's actually a very famous philosopher said history repeats itself first as a tragedy, then as a farce.
Yeah.
And that philosopher was Karl Marx.
Oh, no.
And he was talking about this exact man that I did my research on.
Oh, really?
Napoleon III.
Okay.
Now, I know what you're immediately thinking.
I don't know there was three of them.
Yeah, there are 3 Napoleons.
There's the guy with the hand in the shirt.
Yep, that's
Okay,
one. That's Napoleon I.
That's big guy. That's
Then
OG.
then his son was Napoleon II.
JR.
Okay, and then there was Napoleon III, which is his nephew.
Okay, was
It's
it
the nephew of Napoleon I.
The third one is usually pretty good because, like, the Scream is perfect. Scream is a great film.
Yeah.
Scream 2, JR.
Yeah.
Scream 3, okay, I'm back in.
Okay, gotcha. This guy millions. Anyway, he also did a lot of coups.
Okay, super into coups.
Well, it's one of those things. We're going to be talking about the 1800s. We're going to be talking about the French Empire.
Yep.
There are a lot, like, it's going to be fun. There's going to be a bunch of different stuff, but just keep in the back of your mind that the whole goal of becoming an emperor in Europe is so then you can send ships all around the world to conquer and enslave people for your major empires. Because this is what we're really talking about. A lot of times when people will look back in history, they look back in the 1800s, they go, oh, it's so silly. They have so many buttons. Oh my God, his hand's in his shirt. You're like, yeah, but what about Haiti? You know what I mean? Like, what about French Indochina, which is Vietnam? What about Algeria? There's all these different things. We'll get into that. But I just want to put that, I want to sprinkle that on the top, okay?
That's the marshmallows on the sweet potato casserole?
No, because that makes it sweet. That makes it even sweeter.
No.
This is the, I'm trying to think of what ruins a thing. This is the cranberry from a can.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa!
This
canned
gross.
Cranberry is incredible.
It's the grossest thing in the world.
Superior to real cranberries at a certain point.
Okay, yeah, enjoy your ultra-processed food. I'm over here enjoying RFK's bountiful harvest. My mouth is a canyon, and I'm ready for his river. A real quote you should not look up by RFK Jr. You do not want to know the context. But let me tell you the context of Napoleon III, who was born Charles Louis Napoleon Bonaparte in 1808.
Chuck.
Yeah, no, well, they immediately dropped the word Charles.
Okay.
Because it gets really, now here's the part that's very confusing. You're going to hear the words Charles, Joseph, Louis, Napoleon, and Bonaparte get just Mad Lib hodgepodge, like moved around a bunch.
Okay.
Because all of these people are Bonapartes. Half of them want to have Napoleon in the name because
Yeah.
he's the famous guy.
Got it.
And then Charles, Louis, and Joseph were brothers.
Okay.
And so their names get dropped around too between all the kids and cousins. It's kind of like, like from your neighborhood. Like you would have like, oh, who's that guy over there? That's Vincent, Vincent S.
Vinny
S.
No, you're wrong because you always say the last name.
Okay.
You always say Tommy Gallagher.
Okay.
Shawnee Gallagher.
Yeah.
Because you got so many people named Sean, John, Tom, Matt.
Yeah.
You have to say the full last name.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I
that
mean?
name is typically Irish.
Yeah.
But in this case, you have it depends on the order of operations of where the names are going to come into. So what you need to know about this guy is he was born on April 20th, 420, blaze it. He was born April 20th, 1808.
Okay.
It's also Hitler's birthday. And it was also the Columbine anniversary.
Wait, what?
April 20th, man. It's crazy. Anyway, April 20th, 1808 is, what do you got?
I was just looking up I thought it was a Taurus, but I wanted to confirm.
Oh, no, this guy's definitely Taurus coded.
He's Taurus.
Because what he's about to do is more failed coups than you'll ever imagine until they work.
So I don't feel like that's Taurus coded. Taurus is like, I'll stay home with my blanket.
No. He stubbornly just keeps doing coups. And everyone keeps telling him over and over and over again, oh my God, because he goes by Louis Napoleon.
Yeah, Louis
also
Napoleon.
known as Prince Louis Napoleon.
Prince?
Yeah, because again, this is the thing you need to understand.
Okay.
When he was born in 1808, his uncle was Napoleon I.
The hand one. Got
The
it.
hand guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Waterloo. You went by ABBA?
Yeah,
The
by ABBA.
Waterloo. That is Napoleon I. That's the Napoleon. When everyone thinks of Napoleon.
Elba.
Yeah, Isle of Elba.
Yeah.
St. Helena. All these different things. That one. Not Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh.
Okay. Not him. Napoleon with the hair and the big hat and the hand in the thing. I am Napoleon.
Short king.
He actually wasn't. That
Okay.
was, you're literally falling for British propaganda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, it really was. They were like, he's a short little guy. He was average height. Yeah, he later was fat and had ulcers and all these other different problems, but that's a kind of common thing with dictators. Enough. This isn't about Napoleon I.
We're going to the third.
What you need to know is Napoleon I was emperor when Louis Napoleon was born.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so his dad was Louis Bonaparte.
Okay.
Okay, so Louis Napoleon's dad was the brother of Napoleon Bonaparte.
Sure, bros.
Okay, his dad was also installed as the King of Holland.
Ooh, tulips and wooden shoes.
Yes, exactly. Very nice place. And his mom was named Hortense. I cannot pronounce her last name. I'm not even going to try.
Don't worry about it.
But he was installed as King of Holland because Napoleon I did this thing as he conquered Europe. He just took family members and he either installed them as king or if they were a daughter or a girl, he married them off.
Yeah, you Kushner them.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%. So Charles Louis just became Louis Napoleon over time. He just dropped that because it was kind of confusing. His uncle, again, Napoleon I, had a son.
Okay.
That son's full name is Napoleon Francois Joseph Charles Bonaparte.
Guys, we gotta think of new names. You gotta get in the Google and be like, new names.
But here's what's going to be easy for it. When Napoleon I is deposed and he is removed from power.
Yeah.
Okay, he's removed from power. There is a minute there where his son is technically the emperor. Junior becomes Napoleon II.
Got it.
He is then captured and held basically for his entire life.
Oh, damn.
In captivity in Austria, in Vienna. And he was named nicknamed the Duke of Reichstadt.
Is this like the type of captivity where like they get a whole wing of a palace and like you just can't go over here?
Oh, yeah, you get a whole wing of a palace, and you can't go anywhere because the fear was always with Napoleons and Bonapartes in general. If any of them get loose, we will all die.
So they're Pokemon, the kind that can breathe fire or something.
No, it's beyond Pokemon. It's not even so much you want to collect them. It's I'm trying to think of
I was thinking about you capture them and then if they get loose, ha!
No, that's not how Pokemon work.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not how. Once you capture them, they're yours.
Oh,
you don't worry about a Pokemon rebelling. It's kind of like a King Kong type of thing. Like you're afraid they'll break the chains and then climb the Empire State Building and kill you all. Like that. Maybe that's like as close as you can kind of get. But in this case, I love how I got like really angry about that. Sorry. It's like a Pokemon. If it gets loose, Pokemon don't get loose.
But how dare I not actually know how Pokemon work?
They go into a ball.
I literally.
We have a top.
It was just the game where they played it on their phone during the pandemic.
I need you to. Oh my God, it's so much more than that. It's so much more. We have a toddler.
Yeah.
And he is going to be into this.
I don't know.
No. I'm telling you right now.
Oh, yeah?
You need to get right on this now because he will spend. Honestly.
Nobody paid attention to me when I was little, and I was really into Pogs.
Yeah, and look how this turned out. All right, now you fall down into like weird lore holes.
Yeah.
We built an entire empire about it, but let's talk about the French Empire.
Okay, French Empire.
So anyway, Napoleon II, he gets held into captivity.
Yeah.
And they hold him there in Austria.
So he doesn't get
They're
loose
like,
and
don't let him
take
do
over
anything.
a country.
Napoleon I, he gets replaced by the Bourbon dynasty.
Sure.
And that is not liquor.
Oh.
It's not. Okay, you know Marie Antoinette?
Yeah.
You know Louis XVI?
Yeah.
And all those movies, Let Them Eat Cake?
The Sun King?
Yeah, that Louis XIV. That is the Bourbon dynasty. The Bourbon, or however they want to pronounce it, that is just a family name.
Yeah.
So they're all Bourbons.
And then Jim Beam came and stole the name.
Yes. And so basically they reintroduce and they bring in Louis XVIII.
Okay.
And he gets installed. And there's a moment where Napoleon comes back for 100 days and he gets kicked back out, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't really matter.
Okay.
So that, right, for what you need to know.
Okay, what do I need to know?
Is at this point, once Napoleon I loses power, all right, shirt Napoleon.
Got it.
All of the other Bonapartes and Napoleons,
Yeah.
they all get kicked out of France. And they all flee. Because again, the French nobles and all these other different people, they are looking around and they go, if there's a loose Bonaparte,
Yeah.
we're all doomed.
Yeah.
So they kicked out, and what happens?
It's like when everybody's like, "Oh no, there's a Rottweiler loose in the neighborhood."
Yes. No.
Get inside, lock the doors.
No. It's like when there's a bear loose in New Jersey.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just a constant bear loose in New Jersey situation, but Napoleon's. And so they were like, we need to. So they get banished, and he spends most of his childhood in Switzerland.
Okay.
Now this is crazy, okay? Because he grows up in Switzerland. He does learn French, and he is French. But he speaks French with a German accent.
Okay.
Because in Switzerland, they have all these different languages. If you look at the way like it's divided, part of Switzerland really is French. Another part of it's more German. Another part of it's more Italian. So they have these mixings of languages there. So their accent is very different. And that's interesting because Napoleon I, he spoke French with an Italian accent.
What?
Because Napoleon Bonaparte, Napoleon is an Italian name.
Yeah.
Because they're from the island of Corsica, which is more Italian than it is French. And the Corsicans were always trying to leave the French Empire, and they were always trying to get out, and they wanted to be independent. But then he was like, "Oh, this is kind of crazy. I just happened to conquer France." And then because Napoleon's from Corsica, they then were like, well, now we don't want to leave because our dude ran the place. So we're the most French of them all. It's a whole deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just picturing that Napoleon III has his own version of hoagie mouth. Where he's speaking English, but it sounds fucked up.
Yeah, I don't like
and then OG Napoleon, he's Boston accent.
Yes.
And I'm like, yo, your shit sounds great. It's Tina Fey versus Amy Poehler on SNL.
Your shit's crazy.
Your shit's crazy.
I don't like the way you say QAnon.
Guys.
It's QAnon. Shut up.
QAnon.
Anyway, this whole thing, basically what happens is as he's growing up in this castle, because again, they're rich.
Okay, so he's growing up in a castle in Switzerland.
This is the part that's crazy, right? The Bonapartes conquer France and Europe.
Yeah.
They're all in on it.
Yeah.
But when they get kicked out of power, they still treat them normal. They still treat them like nobles because even though legally they're usurpers, they are still treated really well because they'd married into so many families that everyone's like, well, I guess if we deny them conquering France, then we're denying our own history of how we conquered all these countries because we got a lot of usurpers in our life. So it's this weird thing where it was like, yeah, it's cool, just don't go to France. It was literally everybody's rule was just don't go back to France.
Yeah.
So he sat in this castle and he learned a lot about his uncle Napoleon I and immediately spent all the time just being like, Oh, that would have. I wish my uncle was still in power. It was the good days back then. And he really like had this longing for France.
Okay.
He thought his family should still be in charge of it. He just had this pining for Paris.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I understand.
He's a little boy. He's a little boy.
He's a little boy living in a Swiss castle.
Yes.
Growing up with obscene wealth and
Yep.
comfort. And he's just like, oh, I wish I was living in the glory days.
Yeah.
But like, how your life is not bad.
But then on top of that, though, he's visiting family. So he has family. He lives in Switzerland, but he has family in southern Germany.
Okay.
And again, Germany is broken up in these little parts back then. And so it's all over the place. So he'd visit. What we think of Germany today was actually like these little tiny kingdoms.
Yeah.
So he's visiting family over there. He's visiting family in northern Italy. Northern Italy, by the way, doesn't exist at this point in time. It's a collection of random little states. So he's visiting them, and then they tell him more about like, oh, the life used to be so good before the Bourbons came back and before your uncle lost the war. It was so fucking good. And he learned like so much from visiting these people in these areas that he was there to see a lot of the push for local national movements. So again, there is no Germany, there is no Italy, but there are Germans and there are Italians. And the German people and Italian people are like, we should not be broken up like this. We should be, there should be a Germany.
Yeah.
There should be Italy. And he gets really pulled into the idea of these national movements, which is an idea that Napoleon I really pushed out there.
Yeah.
This idea of nationality. So he gets super into this, and he starts really learning more and more about especially the Italians in northern Italy and how they are pushing back on the Austrian Empire controlling a bunch of the north.
Okay.
And also that the Pope is also basically a king in central Italy.
Yeah.
Central and northern Italy is controlled by the Pope directly.
Yeah,
he has
King Pope.
armies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
King
the papal states. So he's super into this idea. And then he enters and becomes a Swiss soldier. He enters the Swiss Military Academy in 1830.
He becomes a Swiss Army knife.
He becomes a Swiss Army knife, yes, at the age of 22. And he was obsessed with the military. He thought it was the coolest thing. He liked the uniforms. He liked the idea of marching. And it made him feel like his uncle.
Yeah.
He really wanted to be like his uncle, who he barely ever met.
Yeah.
He was like 7 when he got deposed. So he gets super into this, and then he learns about this secret Italian Revolutionary Society.
Okay, secret Italian Revolutionary Society. Cool,
Yeah,
cool,
and
cool.
who are pushing back against the Austrians.
All right.
They're pushing back against the Pope. And he's like, this sounds cool as hell.
Yeah.
And that's how Louis Napoleon reunites with his brother, whose name is Napoleon Louis.
Guys, we need a new name. Carl.
I'm going to give you a new name.
Okay.
Because they joined this secret Italian Revolutionary Society. And that society's name is the Carbonari.
Carbonaris?
The Carbonari.
Oh, get the sauce.
And I'm going to tell you all about the sauce they had and explain this group to you right after this. We're entering into the first coup.
Okay, I thought we were entering into carbonara because I was getting some pork.
No. We are.
Okay.
We are entering into it because this is really a coup against Austrian and papal rule.
Okay.
This is his first taste of revolution.
His first taste of salted pork.
Yeah, so it's Louis Napoleon and his brother, Napoleon Louis.
Guys, okay.
They join the Carbonari. Carbonari? I don't know. This is what the name means, is charcoal burner.
Okay.
That's what the name actually means for Carbonari.
Is that, I guess maybe that's because when you fry up the little pieces of salted pork fat, they get all crispy and carboned?
No. What they're trying to do is they're trying to claim that they're the working class. This is like an early like proto-revolutionary movement. And so the idea was the charcoal burners were a lower member of society that they could also blend into. So think like the Viet Cong.
Okay.
Like these are the Italian Viet Cong.
Got
They're
it.
also like crazy. They when they met, they called that place a barrack, and they called each other good cousins.
Okay.
And anyone who didn't belong to the Carbonari, they called them Pagani or pagans.
Yeah.
So it's like you either were in the Carbonari or you were a pagan, and all of the Carbonari were cousins.
Yeah.
The aim of the Carbonari was to create a constitutional monarchy or a republic. They didn't care. They're like,
Yeah.
we just want a unified Italy. And we want to like put this thing together. But the other thing that they were truly against was the idea of absolutism,
Okay.
which was this idea that like the Pope or an emperor or a king, that they have the realm of life and death over common people.
Oh, right.
They wanted stuff like due process. They wanted stuff like the rule of law and all these different things. Going back just a little bit earlier, Pope Pius VII actually did a writ of a bull called the Ecclesiam ad Jesu Christo, and that condemned all of the members of the Carbonari, stated that they were a Freemason secret society, and excommunicated all of them.
That's honestly pretty cool. That only gives you more street cred.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Let me go ahead and tell you, like, oh, I don't know, are these guys seem like evil? I'm like, well, I mean, when you look at their symbol.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, look at them. That's their Masonic symbol. Because, again, there's a lot of, this is during a period of secret societies.
Guys, you're not beating the allegations with that secret symbol.
But here's the thing about secret societies is to bring it for the modern user, the modern listener. Secret societies were basically just in-person Discord servers.
Yeah.
These were just in-person forums, like online subreddits and stuff like that. Like there is they had like secret rituals to get you to join, but the same way like a Discord server might be like, send us where your social media is so we can prove that you're a real person. Yeah. That you aren't a bot. Like there's like things like that.
Our
is part of
RuPaul's
what it
Drag
was.
Race would have a really cool symbol.
Yeah. I do like their flag colors though.
I disagree.
I like that triband because so it's a navy blue, a red, and a black.
Yeah.
I know it's just kind of cool.
I still don't think I like black on the flag.
You know?
No.
Okay. But anyway, the 1830. Let's get back to
1830.
the brothers.
Okay.
All right. 1830. The brothers,
Bros,
Louis Napoleon and Napoleon Louis.
Oh my God.
They enter into Italy to join the Carbonari, and the reason why is because this is around the time when there is a bunch of revolutions that pop off all across Europe.
Okay.
And the thing you need to know is that uprisings and revolutions in general are contagious.
Yeah, okay.
All right. And so what happens at first is there's a thing called the July Revolution in France. It's also known as the Second French Revolution. This overthrew the Bourbon monarchy. Okay. So the king that they had installed, the 18th, after Napoleon, he died. He was replaced by this other guy, Charles. Charles was incredibly unpopular.
Okay.
And there was a revolution that overthrew Charles. Now, he was not immediately replaced with a republic, but he was replaced with a constitutional monarch, a man named Louis Philippe. I know I'm throwing a lot of names at you.
And they're all Louis.
I know. Louis Philippe.
There's not going to be a test at this, right?
No, there's not. There is not. But what you need to know is Louis Philippe is known as the Citizen King.
Citizen King.
He is very pro, we should have a democracy.
So they're going to get rid of him.
This is a constitutional republic is what he ends up setting up.
I read in the comments that we are a constitutional republic.
We are. People love that. Yeah.
People like to say that like it's like we're not a democracy. And you're like,
no.
Okay,
anytime somebody does that, but we're a constitutional republic, is somebody who actually wants to install a monarchy. In the long run, they want a dictatorship. In this weird way, it's still a monarchy. Mm-hmm. He wants a constitution. They want to build on it. It's not the Second French Republic though yet. Okay. It's not there. We're not there yet. Okay. We're gonna get there. But what you need to know is that because this happens, this moment, just the way like Zoran winning in New York, like right now, Zoran winning in New York has inspired a lot of other people. Like, oh, let me step up and I can, maybe go try to primary Hakeem Jeffries or Chuck Schumer or these other different people. The idea of like taking out somebody like Andrew Cuomo and something like that is like shows that there's a shot. Yeah. And that inspires people all over the rest of Europe to do this, including the Carbonari, who've been having issues down in Italy. So they go crazy down there, and there's a lot of different stuff that happens, mini revolutions, and what you basically need to know is Louis Napoleon, Napoleon Louis, and other people across Europe go to join in the fight for Italian unification. Okay. One of which is Lord Byron and the Marquis de Lafayette.
I don't know who those are.
You don't know who they are?
They sound familiar.
You should know who the Marquis de Lafayette is from where we live.
I don't know.
The Marquis de Lafayette was a French soldier who came to America to help fight the American Revolution. Okay. And was a key ally of George Washington. And if he didn't come here, we probably would not have defeated the British. And then Lord Byron, he did a haunted story contest with Mary Shelley, which is the reason why Frankenstein exists.
I love that.
Yeah, so there's a tie in there.
Frankenstein's big right now, babe.
Frankenstein is very big right now.
Frankenstein's big right now.
So what you need to know is basically the Carbonari got their shit pushed in.
Whoa.
They got fucking wrecked. The
Yeah.
Austrians wrecked the Carbonari.
Yeah.
And so the brothers are then wanted by local police. So they flee.
Okay.
They don't know what to do.
Oh, no.
So they're running. They can't get to the Swiss border. So they actually aim for France,
Okay.
where it's not supposed to go.
They're not supposed to be there.
They're not supposed to go there. However, Napoleon Louis, not Louis Napoleon.
Okay. So Napoleon Louis, that's the third.
The brother.
That's the third.
No.
No, it's the other one. It's the brother.
Louis Napoleon
Oh
is the
my God.
third. Okay?
Yeah.
The brother gets measles and dies.
Oh, listen, I'm sad for that. Also, so glad he's out because I've been so confused.
I know, and that's why I wanted to let you know.
Yeah.
He dies of measles.
I mean, thanks,
Because
Jenny
he was
McCarthy.
there to catch, he wanted to catch RFK's harvest. So and he did. Caught it all over his face, and he died of measles. Hortense, the mom,
Okay.
meets Louis Napoleon, who is now the only one with Louis and Napoleon left in his name.
Got it.
Right there. They meet at the French border, and they cross into France.
Sure.
By April of 1831, they make it to Paris, and they are staying in a hotel under an assumed name, and that assumed name, Hamilton.
Hamilton?
They choose the name Hamilton.
Okay, that's a choice.
Yeah, that is a choice. Hortense, the mom, she reaches out to the King of France, the new one, Louis
She writes
Philippe.
a letter.
She writes a
We're
letter.
writing letters back in the day.
And he agrees to a secret meeting.
Ooh.
Louis Napoleon doesn't go because he's sick.
Okay.
He's sick.
Yeah.
He stays at home. Hortense goes, and they have a discussion, and basically they reach a deal. The new King of France wants to be seen as like a good guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, let's put some of this behind us. You guys can stay, even though it's illegal for you to be here. You can stay in France as long as you keep it short.
Yep.
You keep it tight.
Okay.
You keep it quiet.
All right.
All right. Don't make any big deals.
Uh-huh.
Don't go running around like a nut job, and you can stay here in France. But at the same time, Louis Napoleon, he wants to be a soldier, and he offers. He's like, I would love to join the French military.
Okay, yeah,
I want to be a French soldier.
He's like, I'm a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I have all kinds of things I can do.
I'm really good.
Open me up.
He's like, let me get these cans
Yeah.
cracked open. And the King of France goes, that's a great idea. Just change your name.
Okay. Because we don't want the name Napoleon in France.
He's like, we don't want a Napoleon Bonaparte to become another colonel.
Yeah, it makes sense.
We don't want there's the idea of you being General Louis Napoleon Bonaparte is a direct threat.
Can't do
Everyone
it.
out here gets fucking weird about it.
So change your name.
Change your name. Louis Napoleon Bonaparte is 23 years old. He's like, fuck you, dude. I'm not changing my name. So they have to leave. They just have to leave now. They're like,
So he
he's like,
starts so much shit over that they gotta
they're
go.
like, you gotta go. You gotta go. You can't.
Wow.
All right, we tried being cool, but like you.
It's funny because
we're asking you the most reasonable thing possible.
But he's 23.
You can't.
You can't get anything reasonable out of a 23-year-old's brain.
No, but also this is his first shot since he was a very little kid to be in France.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he's in Paris. He's at this hotel, and Louis Napoleon is listening to the people, and he just keeps hearing it over and over again. Man, it sucks right now. Things were better back when Napoleon was emperor. I wish we had a Bonaparte in charge. You know who would make France great again? A Bonaparte.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And he gets it in his head that only a Bonaparte can make France great again. Only a Bonaparte, a Napoleon Bonaparte, should be in charge of everything. He starts to think of himself as the only man who can fix the country.
Oh, no. I do not like where this is going.
No, you are not.
I've done
like
a lot
where
of
it's
work
going.
to remember who these people are, and now I'm upset already.
Well, can I tell you where they go?
Where?
To really make you mad?
Okay.
England.
Ah, come on.
Yeah, they go to Britain. They go there first, and they hang out for a little bit, and then eventually they make their way back to actual Switzerland.
Yeah.
But he does go there and start to make some connections in England, and he'll have like connections there for a very long time. But they make it back to Switzerland. But in this transition, as they're moving around, they find out that Napoleon II dies of tuberculosis.
Napoleon II. That was JR.
Yeah.
He got TB.
Napoleon I's
Yeah.
son,
JR.
who was in jail in
Yeah,
Austria.
in jail, probably a castle.
Yeah, he was in Austrian jail. He dies of tuberculosis, and he was a very young man.
Yeah.
So that means the rightful heir to Napoleon's throne is now up for grabs.
Oh, I know just the guy.
Yes, his uncle, Joseph Bonaparte.
Joe.
Yeah.
What's Joe doing here?
So Joe was at one point in time the king of Spain.
There was a king of Spain named Joe?
Yes, his
That's
name was
very
Joseph Bonaparte. Napoleon installed him as the king of Spain.
Yeah.
There was a crazy revolution against him.
Sure.
The British actually invaded Spain and Portugal to fight back against it. It's a whole thing. But that guy, after he lost his kingship, he moved to Bordentown, New Jersey. Yeah, that's right. The former king of Spain, who was the brother of Napoleon,
Jersey?
Bordentown, New Jersey. And so when he found out Napoleon II was dead, they were like, "Hey," they sent a message to New Jersey, be like, "Hey, just so you know, you have the rightful claim to the Emperor of France." And he literally was like, "I don't want this."
He's like, "I'm living like a king in Jersey.
I live in New Jersey, the Garden State. Fuck off.
Tomatoes and blueberries as far as the eye could see."
Now, can I tell you a very funny, interesting thing that I found? Again, going down a tab on this, Joseph Bonaparte moves to New Jersey. His grandson eventually becomes the Attorney General under Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay.
Because his name is Charles Bonaparte. He becomes the Attorney General of the United States, and he's the Attorney General that oversees the creation of the Bureau of Investigation, and that's what becomes the FBI. So, like, somehow... So you're like,
shit.
oh, what does that have to do with anything? Well, that's how the FBI got created, and that's the reason why Kash Patel hopped on a plane to go fly to pick up his girlfriend.
And Kash Patel just learned this information. That's why he looks like that.
The Bonapartes? So, yeah. So anyway, so Joseph goes no.
Joe's out. He's like, I'm happy in Jersey.
So which means it then immediately goes to the next brother who's around, which is Louis Bonaparte. That's Louis Napoleon's dad. The former king of Holland. And that guy is like, yo, fuck off. Yeah. I don't want that. He literally, you gotta remember, the brothers all survived what happened with Napoleon I, and they're all living pretty good lives.
Yeah.
They're like, we have more money than we did when we were peasants and, minor nobles in Corsica. Like, I remember how things were. Yeah. I got a house with windows. You know what I mean?
He's got a windmill.
Yeah, there's stuff. Yeah, exactly. There's all these different stuff. And so they're like looking around, and he's just like, I don't want it. Which means immediately Louis Napoleon's like, it's mine.
Yeah, he's like,
yeah. And so now he is calling himself Prince Louis Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, okay.
And he's looking around, and now he has it. He has the chart he needs. He has the claim he needs. And now he knows exactly what he needs to do to retake the throne of France.
What's he got to do?
A coup. He's going to coup. And then he's going to coup again. And then he's going to coup again.
Ooh.
And we're about to do a bunch of French coups. You need to stop putting your house guests on a smelly old pull-out couch. Upgrade your spare room with Brooklyn Bedding. Brooklyn Bedding has something for every type of sleeper. Just take their quick online quiz, and in less than 2 minutes, you'll find the perfect mattress. And we have found the perfect mattress.
Number one, I love an online quiz. Number two, I love our Brooklyn mattress.
Yes, a Brooklyn Bedding mattress has been incredible for us. We have one with a pillow top. It also has cooling on it.
Yep.
And I want to tell you guys, we have a fleece sheet that Mrs. P just bought. And I typically hate them because I would get too hot. But with a fleece sheet and the cooling mattress, my back is cool, my chest is toasty, everything is balanced just right. I have never had better sleep in my entire life until, honestly, this year when we got this mattress. I'm being so for real right now. Every Brooklyn Bedding mattress is handcrafted in their Arizona factory. Brooklyn Bedding even offers a 120-night comfort trial. If you don't love your mattress, they'll help you return or swap it hassle-free. Go to brooklynbedding.com and use our promo code TOOMANY at checkout to get 30% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. That's brooklynbedding.com and promo code TOOMANY for 30% off site-wide. Support the show and let them know we sent you after you check out. brooklynbedding.com, promo code
TOOMANY.
1836 is the year that Louis Napoleon decides to invade France.
Okay.
With 11 men.
Okay, I'm not great at statistics, but I feel like outnumbered out the gate.
Yes, 100%. But his idea was to copy his uncle, who was emperor of France, who had been deposed,
Yep.
who then to the island of Elba.
Yes.
And then he returned to France, and as he marched towards Paris, the armies just immediately started joining him.
Yeah. Okay.
But the difference is those armies knew who Napoleon I was.
Yeah.
They had no idea who Louis Napoleon was.
So he was trying to do like a Civil War reenactment, and he thought it was going to go
kind of. He just had this mystical thinking that if he showed up with a couple of different guys, immediately these dudes would just fall behind him and join him, and they would march directly to Paris.
Because he never met any other humans in his life.
He also is a person that is, he grew up wealthy, and he grew up with having people just like tell him the entire time, like, you are the heir, and there's a mystical side to this whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
And he's also surrounded by a lot of yes men.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that surround him throughout his entire life who are constantly just being like, oh no, you're great, because they're hangers on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's
they're part
what
of the
I do
posse.
to you. I tell you all the time, like, you're doing great.
Yeah, exactly. And then we just fail upwards.
Yeah.
And that's what they want to fail upwards with them. They're coattail riders.
But they only have 11?
They only have 11 guys.
Dang.
At 6 o'clock on a Monday, the 13th of October, 1836, Swiss Army Captain Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, disguised in a French colonel's uniform and attended by a fake general and 10 officers, marched into the Strasbourg garrison and the barracks of the 46th Infantry Regiment, where he then appealed to the men to join him.
How'd
So
that go?
he showed up. Well, I'll tell you.
He showed up dressed up.
He showed up dressed up as a fake colonel.
Without, like, he has things on his lapel that he didn't earn.
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
He's
stolen valor.
He's stolen valor. So he walks in. He's like, I am Colonel Bonaparte, and join me. Except he's German. He's like, I'm the Colonel Bonaparte. And he's doing that. And then literally the young men, they look at him and they just because again, these are also young men. Is the other thing you got to remember. We're in 1836. So we are over 20 years past when his uncle was.
Yeah, these people never knew about his uncle.
None
like
of them.
lived experience.
None of them. It's the same way when people right now are currently screaming. They're like, oh, Democrats, Bill Clinton's in the files. And I'm like, I'm 41.
Who cares?
I never voted for Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
He was never.
He
like,
is? Arrest him.
He
cool.
was president when I was a child.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. It's the same thing for these guys. They were like, even if any of them did remember him, they were like so young.
Yeah,
when
they were like,
was first.
Napoleon did what with Bubba?
Yes. And all of these guys are just like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. This isn't our job.
Yeah.
I don't take orders from you. And we don't give a fuck about a Bonaparte. And this freaks Louis out.
Yeah.
He actually like straight up, his brain breaks down.
Yeah.
Now his dudes,
His 11 guys.
his 11 guys,
disciples.
they seize the head of the local barracks. They go in and they lock him in, and they're in his office. They have him under gunpoint, and they're like, we're gonna hold you hostage.
Like we're getting our 12th apostle one way or another.
Yeah. And then through a series of just laughable bullshit, that guy just walks out the back door. He just leaves. He's just like, ah.
Love that.
And so he gets out, and then his staff officers for the local garrison leader, they protect him. They show up, and there's like all these different things. But the other people who not only are just his staff officers help him, but also his mother-in-law and his wife. And they show up, and they beat the shit out of Louis Napoleon. By 8 o'clock. So remember, this started at 6 p.m.
Okay.
By 8 p.m., everyone was arrested.
Yeah.
It was a 2-hour coup.
Yeah.
But Louis Napoleon, he fled. He ran away.
Coup is a strong word at this point.
It's still what it is. He's still attempting a coup. He's still trying to overthrow the government. Louis Napoleon fled back to Switzerland.
Yeah.
Now, when this word of this gets back to the King of France, because this is, again, Louis Philippe, the same king who was like...
Wait, this didn't even take place at the castle?
No, this is Strasbourg. This is like a border between Switzerland and France.
Okay, that's crazy that he didn't try to
He didn't even make it to the capital.
That's what I mean. Like, they had to report to the capital that a quote-unquote coup happened.
Yes.
That's so funny.
So he gets the word about this, and he immediately gets so mad, he sends an army to Switzerland. Because he cables Switzerland, and he's like, give me that fucking Napoleon right now. He's going to jail. And then Switzerland was like, oh, honestly... he's a member of our army, and he's a Swiss citizen, and we're neutral. So no. And so at that point, he sends an army into into Switzerland.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because, again, like that typically doesn't happen.
And but the Switzerland at the same time is like, well, we're not going to stop him.
Yeah. And so Louis Napoleon writes the following letter to his mom, Hortense.
Dear Mom.
It actually does open that way. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
My dear mother, you have no doubt been anxious, having received no news from me. And now your anxiety will be all the greater when you learn what I have attempted, but failed to bring off at Strasbourg. I am in prison here, but you mustn't cry, for I am the victim of a worthy cause, a truly French cause. They are sending me to America, but under no circumstances are you to think of joining me there in my new exile. Life is of little import when the only thing that counts for me is the honor of France. So basically the Swiss were like, hey, we're not giving you to the French, but you need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, you need to go.
You did a crime, bud.
So he's going over to Gers to hang out with the cuz.
He's actually being sent to New York City. Yep. That's what they do. They send him to New York. So what they do is by way of London and Brazil.
Yeah.
So he takes a boat that takes him, he leaves, goes through Germany, catches a boat to London.
Okay.
And then he goes from London to Brazil for like a hot minute.
Yeah.
And then he goes from Brazil to New York.
Okay.
And again, it's a lot of long boating. And the thing is he actually does like America because he's treated really well. Americans, even though, especially at that time, like, we're like, fuck a king, we got rid of monarchies. If somebody showed up, we're like, yo, your shit looks really cool. I like the epaulets on your shoulder. And we also were always trying to copy and find legitimacy in the rest of the world's eyes.
Yeah, Americans still do that. We're like, we'll talk all kinds of shit, but the second, like, a billionaire is having a debutante ball, we're like, oh, look how pretty they are. Look at what they're wearing. Blah, blah, blah.
Or maybe a Saudi royal shows up and that's chainsawed people. And then you're like, oh, let's all just suck his toes.
Mr. Beast said it's cool.
Hey, welcome to Mr. Beast Land. It's basically just a carnival.
Yeah.
Like, it's Mr. Beast Land.
Don't get on the Khashoggi ride.
Oh, man. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I love that Mr. Beast is just a series of saw traps that have been YouTubified for SEO. I think that just speaks great about where the future of the world is heading.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let's talk about the past. Louis Napoleon, when he gets to the USA, he said about America this: here, there is freedom to acquire, but not freedom to enjoy. There is the right to act, but not to think.
Yo, bars.
Yeah, legit.
Yo, bars.
Yeah.
You can buy all the tchotchkes you want at Five Below, but you can't do shit with else.
Yeah, no, basically, that's literally what he was talking about. Like, he's like, you can make money.
Yeah.
But in making all of that money, you will have no time to enjoy any of it. There's no leisure time. There's no leisure time. And again, there's the right to act, but not to think. Any of these different types of things.
Yeah.
He's there for a while. He's very interested in the States.
It's so funny that he clocked it back then.
Oh, dude, basically, here's the thing you need to know. If you read any traveler from around the world who comes to America, especially Gilded Age and before, they straight up call what we're gonna live through now.
Yeah.
They're like, these people think they're free, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
The shit they're missing is nuts.
Yeah.
Like, it's wild. It's like they don't give a fuck about each other, but they're always screaming freedom and shooting guns into the air.
Yeah, because you have the freedom to have a gun, but you don't have to think about it. You're not required to think about it. No one will hold you to the fire to think about it. It's insane.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. And there's a bunch, especially French travelers, they're really good at clocking America in a way that's like...
Which is why Americans always like, we hate the French. And you're like, that's just because they're clocking your shit.
Yeah, because they do. Because they're like, oh, dude. But also, half the time it's because the French have actually already lived through it.
Yeah.
With their long history. So they're like, oh, hey, man, just so you know, like, we did that 4 times.
Yeah.
Don't do that. The French are currently on their 4th republic. Like, I want to be clear about that. Like, they keep having their republic overthrown.
There are buildings in France that are currently like a bar where people drink.
Yeah.
That are older than America.
Yes.
And are still actively the same bar they were before America existed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
like,
100%.
They're like, okay, child.
Yeah. Well, it's the same way like that we as Philadelphians look at like the rest of the country because we have bars in Philly that are older than other areas. And Bostonians feel the same way.
For sure.
There's something about being one of the original colonies when you go west and you meet, especially from the West Coast and these like tech guys.
Yeah.
We're like, I have this brilliant new idea. And then they just describe Fordlandia to you. And you're like, Henry Ford did that. Don't do that. Oh my God. And then they describe another idea and you're like, You just reinvented slavery, but with robots.
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's a lot of that, and the French clock that a lot with the Americans, and it's very interesting. But he stays in America for quite a few years. He mixes with a lot of the elites of New York City. He gets a view of the country, but then he gets word that his mom is very sick.
Oh, you gotta go visit mom.
Very, 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 very sick. So he rushes home. And this is wild to me because I keep thinking about this. Like, you receive word and then it takes you like weeks to get there.
Yeah.
Because, you got to get on a boat and then travel across. And it's just like the timing. It's not like
That's
now.
That's why people used to convalesce back then.
Exactly.
You had to go be sick for a while so people would come see you.
Exactly. And so his mom, he is able to make it back in time. And his mom dies in mid-1837.
Okay.
And she is buried the next year. But he can't go to her burial.
Why did they wait a year to bury her?
Well, it's not a full year. It's months. But they waited because she had to be buried back in France.
Oh, okay.
So she's to be buried in France, and he couldn't go because it's illegal for him to be in France.
He's not allowed in France.
Yeah,
he got banned.
He's banned because of,
the coup. Yeah.
Yeah. So he spends the next few years.
It's crazy if you get held accountable for a coup.
So here's the thing. He does, but he doesn't.
Okay.
And the one thing I want to say as we get deeper into this is if you are ever in power, if any of the listeners here, if you're ever in power and somebody goes and coups you, you should that guy.
Oh,
you
wait,
should
no, don't call for violence on the podcast.
I'm not calling for violence. I'm talking about a hypothetical. If you're playing a video game where you are running a Sim City and one of your Sim City characters tries to coup you, that guy.
Okay,
because I need
violence.
you to. Okay. I'm not calling for violence. I'm just giving helpful advice.
Okay.
Because if someone has an unsuccessful coup and you don't that guy, he will coup again.
Yeah.
They just keep cooing. And every time they coup, they gain more guys because they're the guy who coups. And everyone's like, well, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
And guys who coup attract other guys who like coups.
Yeah.
Because you know what he does? After his mom dies, he goes back to London. He gains the power of more elites. He builds up his name and his connections. And he gets that paper and he does another coup.
Cool.
We are lovingly supported by our Patreons over at pearlmania500.net.
Yes.
And obviously, with this being our Thanksgiving episode, we want to give a big thanks to them.
Post-Thanksgiving.
I know, but this is around the Thanksgiving. And people are going to be watching this full of that turkey meat. Yeah. They're going to be, thinking about their family members.
Maybe they use some of the recipes from Vibing with the Food Idiot, our Patreon exclusive episodes where I teach you how to cook, and we did specifically Thanksgiving, and we've done in the past different holiday dishes on there.
Yeah, 100%.
So maybe they've already made them.
Maybe they use your deviled egg recipe that you can find exclusively at pearlmania500.net. Your shirt reminds me of the.
This is not deviled egg. This is butter.
I know, but to me,
this is the butter of a mashed potato.
I know, but when I look at it, I think of the yellow of the yolk mixed with the white.
If your deviled egg is this color, you need more mustard.
No, but I'm thinking about blending them together, the white and the yellow, to make this color. Anyway, it doesn't matter because what I'm here to tell you is while I do love and respect the support of our Patreons.
Yes.
The patrons of Louis Napoleon.
Okay.
Prince Louis Napoleon Bonaparte.
Sure.
They go a little above and beyond.
What do they do?
They give him 20,000 pounds.
Okay.
20,000 pounds. And back then is worth $2.2 million today.
Got it.
And they go, hey, have yourself a fun little coup. So in mid-1840...
Join our Patreon now so we can afford to do a coup.
No, whoa. That's how you get our Patreon canceled. That was, hold on.
Allegedly.
That was a joke.
That was a joke.
This is a comedy podcast.
This is a comedy history podcast.
Oh, we're big on the history right now.
We're big on the comedy. That guy. Okay,
hey,
so...
stop it.
What? Anyway, so Louis Napoleon.
Okay.
All right. Louis Napoleon Bonaparte.
Mm-hmm.
He raises $2.2 million.
Got it.
And he uses that money to buy guns, uniforms. He prints proclamations, which back then was a very big deal. Like, you wanted to print proclamations. This today is the equivalent of buying a botnet to go on Twitter.
Yeah.
But these proclamations declare that he is returning to the throne of France to make France great again. All these different things. He hires a ship, and then he fills the ship with 60 men who would be his column of soldiers.
That's still not enough.
And these 60 men are in French uniforms, and he collects military men to surround himself with.
Okay.
Who are going to help him more than the last time. And the thing is, about Louis Napoleon is much like another lunatic who is currently in charge. He surrounds himself with just lunatic losers.
Yeah.
Crazy people.
Yes.
But one I want to highlight, and Sad Beige helped me with this one.
Yeah.
And we're going to link to her Instagram.
She helps us with research.
She helps us with our research. She really highlighted this one for me, and I had to keep going down the tab on this guy just to look into him. His name was Major General Tristan de Montholon.
Okay.
All right. This is the new military commander.
Sure.
He's definitely the strangest of the group. Just about everything about this man was a lie or straight up just bizarre. Beginning with the title, he would call himself Marquis. He was not a marquis. He was actually a count, but that was a newer title. He allegedly was wounded, and he claimed that he had served with Napoleon, the original Napoleon, from a bunch of different battles, including at Waterloo. That was all a lie.
Okay.
He had only served on a single battlefield, but he actually refused to fight. So he was at a battle, but refused to fight when he was ordered. He had also had a bunch of gambling debts, and he topped all of this off by stealing the regimental pay of his own officers.
Okay.
Yeah. So despite all of this, he had somehow, this guy, Major General Tristan de Montholon, got himself into the original Napoleon's, what's the word I'm looking for? Entourage.
Oh, okay.
Okay. He was in his group that went to St. Helena.
Okay.
So Napoleon, when Napoleon I, the one with the hand, when he was captured by the British, he was put in this tiny little island in the middle of the Atlantic where he sat there until he died.
Yes.
And he had a few different people. This guy was one of them. He was Napoleon I's final confidant. Like, he was one of the few people that were allowed to talk to him. He was promised a major legacy in Napoleon's will.
Okay.
But on at least 2 occasions, he poisoned Napoleon's wine.
Okay.
Because he got mad at it.
Yeah.
He weakened Napoleon with poison so much that he's probably the reason Napoleon died. And this is the man that Prince Louis Napoleon was like, you're in charge of my forces.
Smart.
The guy who this fucking uncle.
Smart.
Because again, he's running around, he's just a con artist.
Yeah.
And
he would do great.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine where Trump would put him.
Oh, he would be.
I mean, first of all, this guy needs to be a Fox News host.
Oh,
first and foremost.
He would have been a Fox News. No,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. He would have been a Fox News host as an ex-Napoleon guy.
Yeah.
Who was then brought forth.
And then he would have become the Department of War.
You know what he gives me? He gives me John Bolton feels.
Okay.
John Bolton with the walrus mustache, where he worked with the Bushes. And then they brought him in the first Trump administration, then got kicked out. And now Trump hates him and is trying to throw him in jail. Anyway, so they're all on this boat together.
Yeah. Oh, great.
So they're all on this crazy boat.
Worst cruise ship ever.
Well, no, the good news is they had cognac.
Okay.
So they're all hammered. Everyone gets hammered to get brave.
Yeah.
So they're getting brave.
Because again, there's not enough of them.
There's not enough
to
of
take
them.
over a country.
No. And also, we'll get into it a little bit. Well, I'll give a little reveal on that in a minute. So then they reach France. They get out on the beaches.
Okay.
And they're trying to do it. It's very early in the morning.
Okay.
It's like it's nighttime. It's still dark.
Okay. Because they're going to catch the French by surprise.
Well, and they're trying to sneak into town.
Yeah, sneak into town.
But they're so drunk and loud
that
a customs officer hears them.
So they're like when you're an older teenager and you're trying to sneak back in the house after out drinking.
100%.
And you're like doing that like, I'm just tiptoeing.
But every step is the creakiest floorboard.
Yeah.
And then you should have turned a light on because that wouldn't have woken anybody up. But then you bump into a lamp and that falls over and all this different stuff.
Or you have to climb in a window. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. But basically, they're
wrecked on cognac.
Yes, they're hammered.
Yeah.
And so this French customs officer, he approaches them and he sees that they're wearing French uniforms and he's like, who are you? What are you doing here?
Identify yourself.
Exactly. And one of the men said, quote, we belong to the 40th Regiment and are en route from Dunkirk to Cherbourg, which is a town nearby. And they explained that the paddle wheels on their steamer had broken. So they had like big paddle boats back then. He's like, our boat broke down. So we're just getting off here. We're just going to march. And they were wearing proper French uniforms, and they did speak proper French. But the problem is their uniforms had insignia for the 40th Infantry Regiment, and the local regiment there in France was the 42nd.
Oh, okay.
So they had the wrong uniform on. So as the guy is looking at them, he's like, okay, so I have so many questions. Let's just clear this up. And it soon becomes very apparent to this customs officer that anyone who's there is like not a senior officer, because they don't speak like soldiers.
Yeah.
Because the thing is most of them aren't.
Yeah.
They're also kind of old. Most of these men are in between their 40s, and even some of them are older than 50. And most soldiers are typically in their like late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
Because you serve for a few years and then you leave.
This is just sad guy cosplay.
I want you to think of the way how the men looked on January 6th.
That's what I was thinking. The Gravy
it's just
Seals.
Old men, Gravy Seals
Gravy
levels.
Seals.
And the thing is 30 of the 56 soldiers were not ever soldiers. They were actually members of Louis Napoleon's household staff. We're talking about servants, valets, footmen, a butler, 3 cooks, 2 gardeners, a tailor, a banker, and many more. Like
not him going downstairs in Downton Abbey and being like, guess what, guys?
I have a great idea.
New uniform just dropped.
Yeah.
And then the angry Irish chef is like, I have a soup on.
Oh, no. Yeah, the Irish valet is like, but socialism. So the customs officer is literally staring at this gaggle of old idiots. And he's like, what? And it's like 4 a.m, mind you. So he's tired. He's staring at this. He's like, what the fuck? And then finally, one of the drunk men who is claiming to be a colonel, he steps forward and he yells, "Do you know whom you are escorting? It is Prince Napoleon himself." And then all of the other people start yelling, "Boulogne is ours! France will soon proclaim the Prince Emperor of France!" And he's like, what the fuck? And then they're all like staring at him until the General de Montholon, the scammer, he shows up. Even more hammered than everyone else.
George Santos is drunk.
Yes, he has hammered French George Santos. He shows up and he's like, "Hey, how about this? We'll give you a pension." And the guy's like, "What?" He's like, 1,200 francs. That's a lot of money for the rest of your life if you just look away." And the guy legit just goes, "You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I'm not getting paid enough." And he just leaves.
Man, this is a target.
Yeah, he's like, this is fucked up.
I do not get paid enough as a security guard at this Walmart.
Yeah, legit, that's
to deal with this.
Yes, 100%. He looks up and he's like, "No, this is on candid camera. We haven't even invented cameras yet. I'm
not
pranked."
writing up the paperwork on this incident. I gotta go.
So now, the column of 60 drunk men, many of them servants and gardeners, begin to march to the city of Boulogne. Okay? And this was their whole idea. Again, it was very similar to the first time. They're going to seize the local barracks. And again, they're going to convince the men to join them.
Yeah.
And then he's going to start building his army from there. This is his whole idea. So they march into the city. They march into the local barracks. They go, "We're here. You're going to join us." And the local men are like, "Yo, fuck you, dude.
Yes.
What the fuck are you talking about? It's 5 a.m.
You woke me up?
Yes.
You woke me up? A bunch of 6-year-old old, fat, out-of-shape dudes drunk on cognac woke me up at 5 a.m.
What?
Not only am I not joining you, you're about to lose your whole life.
No, come on. I'm a soldier like you. I'm a soldier. We're
gonna give you a pension.
Yeah, so Napoleon's officer guys who were dressed as officers, they freak the fuck out. A local captain, he wakes up and he arrives and says, "What the fuck is going on?" And Napoleon's men immediately try to grab the captain. Like,
okay.
We'll do like last time. We'll try to hold him hostage. And Napoleon yells at him and yells, "Captain, I am Prince Louis Napoleon. Come join us and you will be rewarded with whatever you desire."
Oh, that's too big. Too big of a promise.
But the captain replied, "I don't know you. You are a traitor."
Yeah.
He's just like, "I don't know who the fuck you are, dude."
Yeah.
And the whole time, "I'm Prince Napoleon. I'm supposed to be the emperor." He's like, "I don't know who the fuck you are. It's 5 a.m. And so he then turns to his company of like the soldiers who are now walking out of the barracks, like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Piss.
And he literally yells, "Soldiers, this is a trick. Vive le roi! fall in behind me. Viva le Roi means long live the king.
Yeah.
This guy's screaming he wants to be emperor. We need to protect the king. And the soldiers are like, king pays my check. Okay.
Yeah.
And so Bonaparte's men just like, they flip out. Everyone's running around like crazy.
Yeah. I just pictured them like just trying to pull their pants off.
It literally,
son of a bitch. It is Friday.
So inside of all of this, a note gets out to an even higher up commander.
Who has time to write down a letter?
Well, like they send a messenger. Like a
Okay.
guy gets to the higher up commander.
Yeah.
And he begins to rally his men. And this is when everybody starts to panic. Napoleon's trying to take a man hostage. He has his gun out. He's freaked out and he panics and his gun goes off and he shoots a man in the jaw.
Ooh.
Him right in the mouth.
A musket jaw? Yikes.
Yeah, and everyone's like, whoa! And Napoleon's like, what the fuck? I didn't mean, I'm so sorry. Like, everybody's like, what the fuck? And so now everybody's running around. The entire town is like, was that a gunshot? And it's not like Philly where you're like, yeah, it was a car. You know what I mean? Or like, somebody drove over one of those metal plates or something. Yeah. Legit, it's a sleepy French town.
It's now at this point, it's 5:30 a.m.
It's 5:30 in the morning.
Only the farmers and fishermen are awake.
Went off. And so everyone's like, what the fuck was that? So everyone in town is like, what is happening? So he immediately gets his guys like, oh, we're on the march. And they march away and they like go to like try to hang a flag somewhere.
I like that you say march instead it ran away.
But he was like, oh, get in line. And yeah, they shuffle off. And it's crazy. So now hundreds of French troops are showing up to capture these 60 men.
Yeah.
Bonaparte pulls his pistol back out. He's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to end it. And they're like, no. And they like stop him from himself.
Okay.
He really wants to do it.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. They're able to restrain him. They then flee all the way back to the beach. Now, mind you, the boat's gone.
Where's the boat?
It left. They only hired it for a one-way journey.
Oh, no.
So the boat wasn't waiting in case they could leave. But they get there. They can hear the French soldiers coming. So him and his fellow officers try to swim back to England. They just go into the water, but they're wearing heavy wool uniforms. They have heavy boots on, and they have cartridge belts on that are all very heavy. So as they start swimming into the water, they're sinking, and the French soldiers are shooting at them. Prince Louis Napoleon was actually hit squarely by a bullet, which lodged into his soaked gold-braided uniform. He had so many braids and things on to like dress like an emperor that it actually saved his life.
Damn.
He was then fished out of the sea by two boats manned by the National Guardsmen. They literally pull him out of the water. And they're like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
He is then taken for trial.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, he has a 6-day trial, and he's condemned to life imprisonment in a fortress.
Okay.
And you know what happens next?
Well, I don't want to say anything, but like you did tell me there were more than just 2 coups.
Yeah. But he's got to escape the fortress first. And we're going to tell you exactly how he does this right after this. And thank you so much to that sponsor, or no sponsor if you support us on Patreon. But if you were listening to that and you're like, you know what, I really need to find a good gift for a family member or a friend, Mrs. P just released a holiday guide.
Yeah, it's super fun.
It's exclusively on our YouTube. It's the two of us discussing ideas that she has for people in our life. And then I say whether or not I like the ideas. And it's a fun video. You can check
nobody
it out on YouTube.
got weirdly combative about certain gift ideas that I had. Nobody ranted about different things that maybe I thought would be just generally a nice idea. No.
Nobody did that at all. But, Mrs. P, we're not here to talk about gifts.
No.
We're here to talk about the capture of Louis Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah, he's in a tower.
Yeah, he's literally in a fortress. And that fortress is staffed with 60 men. A different 60 men.
A different 60
It's a different 60, yeah. Now, he was given permission to buy a horse. They did actually allow...
This is not jail. You are not in prison if you're able to buy a horse.
This is rich white people jail, especially in France. He's literally in a fortress basically by himself. He's allowed to buy a horse to exercise with inside the courtyard. He also is given a 40 square meter garden plot inside the fortress that he is allowed to tend. And he said, and I quote, "I spend a lot of time gardening. I plant flower seeds and shrubs. The pleasure I gain from tilling a few cubic meters of earth leads me to think that we have within us many inner resources and other unknown consolations upon which to draw."
Yeah, he's absolutely right. That is how gardening makes you feel. So he got a free castle, a free horse, and a raised bed garden?
He bought the horse. He bought the horse himself.
He had the opportunity to buy a horse.
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to buy a horse.
Well, the thing is, he also owes like millions of francs in debt to lawyers and the legal fees of all of the men that followed him into the coup.
Nice.
And he's like writing these nice letters to people. It's like, everything's fine. It's like, you are swimming in debt. You owe so many different things. You're literally in jail.
I love that. And he's like, you know what though?
Yeah.
I just grew a little bit of basil.
Yeah, 100%. But here's the thing. He's also saying, again, he's saying all of this in a very insane Germanic accent to the French guards.
Dear Marie, I miss you so greatly. Also, I've gotten really into fresh cut flowers. And I've decided to name the horse after everyone else in my family, Louis.
Yeah. The horse's name is Joseph Louis Charles Napoleon Bonaparte.
Yeah.
The thing is one thing I've really left out of this.
What's that?
He's super charming.
Oh, I've been wondering how he's doing this.
Riz for days.
Okay.
Very, very charming, to the point where all 60 of the guards at the fortress, they all fall in love with him.
Okay.
Because he has this and again, the same way when he was in America and when he was in London, he has this old world aristocrat sensibility about him that was starting to go away. And so it was this kind of coolness to him.
He's
that
the
people were
Count Von Count of Sesame Street.
Yes, 100%. That's 100% what he's like. And the thing is even though all of this happened, people said it was incredibly hard to dislike the man. Everyone said. So much so that on May 25th, 1846, his doctor and a few other friends outside the prison helped him escape.
Wait, his doctor and the people that work there helped him escape?
Not people that work there.
Okay.
Outside the prison. The doctor and some other people had a little conspiracy, and they figured out an elaborate plot to get him out of the prison.
That's what happened with that hot lady in the Penguin show, right? Remember the Penguin show we watched? The Batman Penguin. And then the lady with the black hair, she got put in the mental institution by her dad because he was covering up a crime. But then the doctor that wanted to flirt with her, he helped get her out.
Okay, this is violently different than that.
Okay.
But that, it's not violent at all, actually. Do you want to know how they got him out?
How?
They put some different clothes on him and handed him a stack of wood. And then he walked out the front door.
Wait, what?
They literally were like, yeah, we'll dress him as a day laborer because fortresses have people that come in and out of it all the time because you need wood, because back then they didn't have central heating, all these different things. So they just put him in some dirty clothes, and then they handed him a stack of wood so he could block his face.
That is hilarious.
And then he just walked out the front door. And then he returned to London, where he dreamed of another coup.
Wait, I feel like you just give up on coups.
No.
You just give up.
This man loves a coup, babe.
Okay, couldn't we just get into the gardening or the being into horses?
Gardening is its own form of a coup, if you really think about it. You are overturning the will of nature to bend it to your own.
Yes.
So this is what he does.
Okay.
He returns to England.
Got it.
And he sits there for a little bit of time.
And nobody questions him in England how he got out.
No, he tells everybody. It's a daring escape.
Oh, that just makes him cooler?
Exactly. Everybody thinks he's cooler. Again, this is one of those things you need to understand. Every time he fucks up, just like this is SEO engagement.
Yeah.
This is how to get headlines. This gets your name out
there. This guy's
there.
a fucking streamer. That's what this is. He's a streamer.
He is Andrew Tate.
Yeah, this is Andrew Tate.
This is Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, all these different guys. This is just that thing where fucking up just makes him stronger.
Yeah.
Because remember, the first coup, he's absolutely the first thing he did with joining the Carbonari was just him and his brother. That's 2.
Yeah.
The next time when he tried to coup, he had 11.
Yeah.
The third time when he tried to coup, he had 60. He's each coup is growing.
Yeah.
He's like, this is just even though they're almost all virtually the same plot. I'm going to walk in and then people are going to go, you're the best.
You're
we
so
love
cool.
you. Yeah, so he goes back to England and he's coming up with new coup plans. He meets some people. He finds some more people to financially back him and all these different things. And the thing is, he doesn't have to wait too long because in 1848, a series of revolutions spring across all of Europe.
Okay.
The way we talked about in 1830, another series of them happened in 1848. There's a bunch of nationalist uprisings that happen all across Europe. And happen including in France. Just so you know, Les Mis takes place in between the July Revolution of 1830 and this one.
Yeah.
And that was when Victor Hugo was like caught on a street and saw this stuff. So like the Les Mis time, if you're watching like one of those movies, like that's the feel of France at that time.
Yeah.
It's constant, like this idea of revolutions. There's constantly these barricades that are going up, all these different things. So in 1848, Louis Philippe is removed from power in a revolution, and the true Second French Republic is declared.
Okay.
And the day in February of 1848, the day Louis Philippe flees France in exile to go to England.
Okay.
Louis Napoleon leaves England to go to France.
Oh, he says, I see an opening.
He does see an opening.
He calls that parking spot from across the lot.
Yeah.
He says, I'm parking right there.
Yeah, and if anybody tries to pull in that, I'm going to take him out.
Exactly.
So he goes, he sets sail, he arrives in France, and then he goes and immediately reaches out to the provisional government. And he goes, hey, just so you know, I'm here. And the provisional government goes, get the fuck out. What are you doing here? Absolutely not. No. The last time we had a republic, a Bonaparte showed up and fucked everything up. We do not want you here. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Because there's now holding elections, and they're free and fair elections, a few people step forward and they put up a Bonaparte party. They're called Bonapartists.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he has his own political party. It's very tiny. And they nominate him as a candidate, and they win.
They're just a vocal minority, you know?
Yeah, so they have this thing called a National Assembly, and they win 4 seats in the National Assembly. And they like, we want you to be our guy in the National Assembly. And he's like, no, I'm not going to be your guy in the National Assembly. And there's a second round of voting in September, and this time he accepts it.
Got it. So you got to switch from Democrat to Republican.
Yeah, kind of.
Before you run for president.
Yeah, 100. Kind of like that. Yeah. And so what he does is in that switch over in September, he accepts the win, joins the National Assembly, and immediately starts prepping to run for president of France instantly. Because he's like, oh my God, I did it. I walked into France, and look, the people are already calling for me to be in charge. It's happening. My literal plan is happening. This is crazy. He's also like 40 years old.
Yeah.
Remember, because he was born in 1808.
It's ancient by their terms.
He is our age. Imagine if I walked into Paris right now and was like, I am the Emperor of France. And everyone's like, I don't fucking know.
They'd probably be like, honestly. Yeah.
Honestly, at this point, it's a little bit better than Macron. He's trying to Candace Owens.
Yeah.
The allegedly.
We don't know.
Who gives a shit? Anyway, Louis Napoleon, he sets up immediately. Prince Louis Napoleon sets up a campaign headquarters.
Okay.
He sets it up at a hotel, the Hotel du Rhin, and at a palace. And he is accompanied by his companion, Harriet Howard. Now, she is a merchant's daughter who had a lot of money. Okay. And she basically just finances most of his campaign run and all these different things. She always kind of stays in his life.
Like what's her name? Who financed
Marian Adelson.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. This is the Marian Adelson. Marian Adelson is to Trump as Harriet Howard is to Louis Napoleon.
Yeah. But there was also the other lady that did it for RFK Jr.
Yes. Yeah, the one who was his vice presidential candidate, whose name I forget right now.
But she bankrolled that whole fucking thing.
Yeah, or like Tim Mellon. She's just a rich person who's like, I like him.
Yeah.
He speaks to me in French, which is actually German.
If I was a rich person, the way that I wouldn't be giving money to politicians.
Oh, my God. So here's what you need to know is that he is not great at actually being a politician.
What do you mean? After all this?
So he rarely actually goes to the National Assembly.
They love it when politicians don't show up for work.
He doesn't actually do his job. He rarely votes like in the National Assembly. He's not a great speaker. And when he does speak, he speaks slowly and in a monotone with a slight German accent. And his opponents ridicule him all the time. Yeah. Everyone's like, look at this fucking joke. They keep calling him a turkey who believes he's an eagle. Wow. Because an eagle is the symbol of the French Empire. And that was Napoleon's symbol. And that's a symbol of Rome and all this different stuff. And they're like, just a fucking turkey.
Yeah. Famously, Benjamin Franklin said, our American national bird should be a turkey. Yeah. But then they went with eagle because they were like, it's way cooler. And I'm like, turkey would have been dope, dude.
But what he's really, really, really good at, can I tell you what he's really, really good at and how he does well in the elections?
Talking shit.
No. He uses large-scale propaganda.
Oh, isn't propaganda just talking shit?
No, it's Twitter bots.
Oh.
He starts printing shit at a crazy rate. And he starts pointing out and just evoking name recognition. The same way RFK did, where like if you actually listen to what RFK wanted to do, you're like, oh, that's lunatic bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't want you to be the president. But most people liked RFK because they liked the idea of Kennedy. They recognized the name RFK. With him, they recognized the name Louis Napoleon Bonaparte, and they've just been through a really havoc-filled time. And so they're like, well, you know, it was better back then. And again, he's running on this idea of making France great again. He brings up Napoleonic legends, memories of national glory, and he keeps saying over and over again how he's going to bring back these grand times of peace because they've also had wars and all these other different things. He succeeded in recommending himself to every group of the population because he kept promising to every different group a thing specific for their special interest.
Yeah.
So when you think back to 2024, you know, like Trump was really, really good at reaching across and being like, I'm going to give the Maha people, I'll sprinkle a little bit over here.
Yeah.
I'm going to give these people over here, I'll sprinkle a little bit over here for the Tulsi Gabbard people. I'll sprinkle a little bit over here for the anti-immigration people. I'll sprinkle a little bit over here for people who care about business. And so he was able to promise order and prosperity to the middle class, and farmers would be offered assistance to the poor, and then all these different groups. So on the 4th of November, the newly launched Second Republic's Constitution that proclaimed freedom, equality, and fraternity was based on the principles of family, work, property, and public order.
Yeah.
So he basically stood there and said, I'm going to be for law and order.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have an affordability agenda. That's literally what he ran on.
The price of groceries and eggs.
Yes, 100%.
And law and order.
100%.
Got it.
So the elections are held.
He's going to win.
Yes.
Yeah.
In a landslide.
Yeah.
He wins huge. He wins 5.4 million votes from across all classes of the population. Nobody else, everybody else, like, it's so fractured. So, like, the candidate for the poor wins, like, a huge chunk of the poor, but he doesn't win any middle class. The candidate for the middle class, they win a huge chunk of the middle class, but nobody else.
It's just name recognition.
It's 100% name recognition, and he's able to reach independence.
Yeah.
And that's it. And there wasn't enough political parties.
There was a bunch of French libertarians.
Yeah. The results announced on the 12th of December took everyone by surprise. No one was expecting it. Quote, this is no mere election. It is a veritable national acclamation. That was said by a publisher in the press.
Yeah.
It was huge. And now he's president of France. And you know what he decides to do as president of France?
Let me take a minute. You know, just like when he won the American presidency, you're just like, how did he do it? Right. Okay. He's not going to be happy with just being president because his uncle wasn't just president.
Yeah.
So I feel like the next move is to somehow just be president forever.
Yes, 100%. And you know how you do that?
How?
Another coup. Well, Mrs. P, we're getting deeper into the holiday season.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind everybody that we are always here to help you fill those times when you're driving to your family, when you're just trying to get through it, or if you're working those long holiday hours. And if you're always looking for extra content, please check us out at pearlmania500.net. Now, Mrs. P.
Yes.
Let's talk about what I would probably say is his final coup.
The electric coup boogaloo.
Yeah, this is his final coup. There are then a lot of more things that came out of this, but I'll tell you the reasoning for his coup, because he's president.
Yeah, he's already won.
He's already won. But the thing is that, again, the country just overthrew a king.
Yeah.
They just overthrew a hereditary monarchy. They are like, we're an established republic again. We want to make sure there are no kings.
Yeah.
No kings. I'd protest for that. So in their constitution, their original constitution of 1848, they wrote in there that the president can only serve for 1 4-year term.
Got it.
Just one, can't run for re-election.
Okay.
Louis Napoleon, after getting elected, he's like, listen, I'm super popular. I think people would really want me to be here a little bit longer than just 4 years. I can do a lot of really cool stuff. And he put forward a law to actually change the constitution to not put him in charge forever, but to give him a 10-year term.
10-year term.
Yeah, he's like, let's just change it from a 4-year to a 10-year. I'll still just do 1 term, but it's 10 years.
Yeah.
Give me 10 years, guys.
Yeah.
Please. And his idea being, I'll get in for 10, and then I'll convince them to remove the term limits, and then I'll run again and again and again, which is actually what Xi Jinping has done in China, and a few other different people have done throughout history. This is whenever they start pulling term limits, that's when the guy's like, I'm not leaving. Trump 2028. Anyway, he puts this thing up for a vote in the National Assembly, and it narrowly loses.
Okay, it just barely loses.
It barely loses. So he gets to cooing again.
Yeah.
He immediately tries to figure out. He's like, I tried to legally change the Constitution. I tried to throw out that line that says I can't run for president again, and they pushed me back. So he gets together a small group of military war council. And now there's one guy I want to really highlight in this group. Because again, he surrounds himself with psycho lunatics. Think like Michael Flynn, or think like Kash Patel or RFK. You know, just these Looney Tunes who have been laughed at in most of history until this point. And then Louis Napoleon like stumbles into office. Then they're like, I guess he can have wherever he wants. Yeah. And the guy he has here is General Saint Arnaud. Okay. Now this is literally a mercenary. He was a mercenary in the Greek insurrection for independence. Now this is when Greece broke away from the Ottoman Empire, the Turkish Ottoman Empire. He fought against them. After doing that, as working as a soldier of fortune there, he then became a greengrocer. Okay. Because he went from like army guy to selling vegetables. Yeah. Then he decided to become a vaudeville type comic singer. Perfect. So yeah, so he went to he's Stavi. Yeah, he was a YouTuber of his age. He becomes a YouTuber basically. He's a Stavi. And in between spending times of his performances, so he would get up, he would do like his comic songs, and then he would walk off stage and he would lose at every type of game of chance possible. Okay. So like poker, any of those different things. And so he lost so much money while working as basically like a comedic lounge singer at casinos. Oh, he was, what's his name? That's the Norm Macdonald? No, the Up Down Funk guy? Oh, Bruno Mars. Yes, he's Bruno Mars. Oh, my God. Yes. Oh, my God. He is Bruno Mars. But he is so bad at gambling, he goes back into the army to join the occupation forces of Algeria, which is a French territory at this point. The French had conquered Algeria, which is in North Africa. They were doing horrifying things there this entire time. So he goes there, and then he learns how to suppress populations with the Algerian army, with the French army of Algeria. So he's there. They come up with this plan. And they try a few different ways to be like figuring out like how can he extend his power. Yeah. Because basically his term will end in 1853. Sure. And this is 1851. So he's like, fuck it. If I'm going to do it, I got to pull this trigger now because I'm popular right now. If they start gearing up for another election, then people will be like, we'll get mad. I'm taking away a potential choice. Yeah. There are no candidates yet. So I need to do this right now was Louis Napoleon's idea. Yeah. And he's also known as at this point, the Prince President. Okay. The President Prince is because again, everyone acknowledges his royal claims, his imperial claims that they exist, but it's like jokingly. Sure. So what they do for the coup, this time he has a lot of troops. He's got a bunch. He's got a bunch because he's president. Yeah. And he gets a bunch of groups of troops, especially ones from Algeria, that are loyal to him to occupy the National Printing Office and along with other facilities and important buildings across Paris. So they cover the entire city in the middle of the night. Again, it's dark out. It's very night. And this is back when at nighttime people just went to bed. Yeah. So everyone wakes up to posters all over Paris that declared that the National Assembly has been dissolved and that Paris is under siege. Okay. They're just like, hey, it's all crazy. There's a war in Portland. We have to send in the troops. There's a war in Chicago. We have to send in troops. And like, then we have TikToks where we can see that in Portland and Chicago, that is not happening. Yeah. They just putting the military in there. But he shut down TikTok because he went and held all the national printing offices. Yeah, exactly. So nobody's allowed to print newspapers to say anything otherwise. The troops then march around and start putting members of the National Assembly under house arrest. The ones that he knows will immediately fight back. Yeah. They arrest 12 of them. So then a couple hundred deputies, they step forward and they're like, hey, you shouldn't be arresting those guys. And he's like, fuck that, arrest those people. Yeah. So he arrests a bunch of them. By the time all of this is done, he will have arrested 26,000 people, sending thousands of them into exile into the colonies or just chasing them out of the country. Some of those exiles will be overturned in the courts, but in general, he just basically identifies the opposition and gets rid of them. Part of the opposition is Victor Hugo, the writer of Les Mis and others, but he was initially a huge supporter of Louis Napoleon. Perfect. But much like Liz Cheney, he saw around this moment when this insurrection coup happens, he goes, well, this is this guys, I didn't want this. I didn't think the coup guy would coup again.
Yeah.
I figured if we gave him power, he would be happy. And then he stands up and he goes, this is too far. And he tries to stage an opposition, and he was quickly rebuffed.
Yeah.
Barricades go up all over Paris, similar to Les Mis style, because that's what the French would typically do. But they were quickly routed because, again, nobody had any clue that he was doing this.
Yeah.
Nobody thought the coup guy would coup again.
It's incredible.
Because this is also called an auto coup.
Yeah.
So this is you're cooing yourself, which is wild.
An auto coup. So it's like a auto subscription. It's
like
just automatically going to renew.
No, it's like a autoerotic asphyxiation. You're doing it to yourself. Like, that's the thing, is like what's different with this coup versus a lot of other ones. Other coups are truly usurping. You're kicking someone else out of power.
No, you're just kicking out all of your opposition.
You're kicking all your opposition out, and then you're just declaring that I am the only one.
Okay.
By December 10th, this happened very rapidly. By December 10th, Louis Napoleon was in complete control of France. Victor Hugo, he fled for Belgium, where he would live for the next 20 years.
Sure.
Louis Napoleon immediately put strict press censorship into place. Mm-hmm. The freedom of speech guy immediately locked down freedom of speech. Who could have seen that coming?
Who could have seen that?
And then he held a massive vote. He had a referendum.
Yeah.
He asked the people, do you like the coup? Yay? Nay? You got to vote. And he actually made a big deal. You had to vote. Mayors in towns that were allied with Louis Napoleon stated that anyone who didn't vote, they would put their names out. We want to make sure everyone's involved. We're a democracy, was their big point. 7.4 million people voted yes, that they approved the coup. 641K voted no. 1.7 million people abstained.
Those
they did
are
not
all
vote.
on the list now.
They're all on a list. Louis Napoleon declared that this was a clear mandate,
mandate
that
from God.
everyone clearly loves. They love a coup, folks. They're incredibly fun. I love a coup. Coup. It's great. And his critics noted that there was a lot of irregularities with this vote.
With the voting machines?
With the voting machines and other things, with the count. And a lot of people said, this looks a little rigged. These numbers look a little off. But Louis Napoleon just kept moving forward.
Yeah, of course.
And so he spent the next year writing a new constitution.
Oh, good.
Immediately. He said that he was going to bring in experts.
Sure.
He didn't. He just had his inner circle.
Yeah.
Prince President's inner circle wrote a new constitution.
Stephen Miller there.
Yeah, it would be the equivalent of having Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and Matt Gaetz sit down and come up with a new document. This new document's great. It protects everybody's liberties. It said Jeffrey Epstein, never heard of him.
It's called the Big Beautiful Bill.
Actually just call it like the new document. It's literally just called the new, because again, they don't have good. That's the nickname of it. It's also known as the Constitution of 1852.
It's me in a Google. New document.
New document. What should we call it? I think I'm not lazy. You're lazy. Under this new constitution, Louis Napoleon was automatically reelected as president.
Oh, for sure.
With his new term starting in 1852. And under Article 2, the president could now serve an unlimited number of 10-year terms.
Oh, unlimited number of 10-year terms.
Yeah.
Smart.
So immediately he's like, I'm not immediately emperor. That's crazy. He just said, he goes, no, I can rerun every 10 years. He's like, we're just going to give it 10 years. We'll try this again in 1862 is what he tells everybody. But also inside this constitution, he was immediately given absolute authority to declare a war, sign treaties, form alliances, and initiate his own laws.
Perfect. Who needs Congress or state reps or anything like that?
Yeah. So he does that early in the year. By the end of 1852, November of 1852, the French Senate, because they had, similar to the American system, they have a Senate and a National Assembly, and then a president was like the way this was structured. The French Senate could initiate a referendum, and they did. And they initiated and scheduled a new referendum asking the people, hey, should we call the prince president emperor? It just feels kind of right, doesn't it, folks? Shouldn't we just call him Napoleon III? Don't you think? Emperor Napoleon sounds better than president, don't you, folks? And they held a vote.
Yeah.
7.8 million people voted yes.
Okay.
253,000 voted no. 2 million didn't vote at all.
It's always 2 million didn't vote at all.
Yeah, and Louis.
How many did Jill Stein get?
Louis Napoleon became Napoleon III, Emperor of the French, and the Second French Republic was dead. Long live the Second French Empire.
Wow.
And that's his more or less his final coup.
Okay, yeah, you don't need to coup again after that.
You don't need, once you're emperor, you don't need to coup again.
Now you just have to protect yourself from other coups.
That's 100% is the thing you have to do. And you know how you do that?
How?
You build out the Constitution and you start aiming your guys outside of your empire.
Yeah.
Make sure they stay busy. You see, what he did immediately when he became emperor is he changed the Constitution again.
Okay.
But the thing is you need to understand is his coup was so strong that the only thing they had to do to change the Constitution is they changed the word president to emperor.
Sure.
And then they made it hereditary.
Right.
So they got rid of the election part. They just
Yeah.
were like, the president, cross that out, emperor, and cross out elections, and just write kids.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all they did.
Yeah.
Everything else was the same. He still had the same powers. He was basically that. He then spent the rest of his reign starting to build up things. And when we come back after this, I'm going to tell you some of the highlights of his reign.
Okay.
And then how it all ends. Mrs. P, where were we?
He's the boss.
He's the emperor.
He's got to start attacking enemies abroad and within.
Yes.
To protect from the coups.
So one thing he does to protect from the coups is, remember how I kept bringing up the barricades?
Yes.
He rebuilds Paris.
Oh, okay.
So Paris had very narrow streets.
Yeah.
Now they have very wide streets.
Oh, because you could build the blockages, and if roads are wider, it's harder to build the blockage.
It's harder to build the barricades.
Yeah.
And in fact, actually, when you look, whenever we see today, like when you think of like those big, beautiful white buildings that are running around Paris,
Yeah.
those are all Napoleon III.
Yeah.
Those were all built during his time. The wide avenues, those were his, because he was looking around and he was like, "Oh, I'm not getting taken out one of these popular uprisings."
Yeah.
Because his whole thing was he was like, "I've seen this enough times." So they widened the roads, they changed everything. He started building monuments to himself and his family.
Smart.
He rebuilt the capital in his own image. Who would do that? Who wants an arch? Anyway, so he rebuilds that. And then the next thing he did is he kept stating that his empire means peace.
He's the emperor of peace.
Yeah, I'm the peace candidate. L'empire, c'est la paix. C'est la paix. This empire means peace. He then immediately started invading his neighbors and doubling the size of France's foreign imperial holdings.
Yeah.
So the Empire of France grew. He colonized more of Africa. He went deeper into Algeria. Southeast Asia he spread into.
Oh, wow.
Really into French Indochina, which is Vietnam and Cambodia, which will come up in the 60s and 70s in the next century. He also invaded Mexico.
What?
Yeah, he invaded Mexico.
That feels really far out of the way.
It would if you weren't insane. If you're insane, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a complicated thing, but he allied with an Austrian duke to install that person as the new emperor of Mexico, and he wanted control to have an imperial puppet state there. So he sent his armies over there this is in 1862. So America's in the middle of a civil war.
Yeah.
So we can't do anything about it.
We're not stopping what's going on.
And when the Civil War ended, we literally turned and went, "Yo, what the fuck?" And because one of America's big things, I mean, when this comes out, who knows if we invade Venezuela by this point, but America always has viewed everything south of us as our backyard and our only playground.
Yeah.
And if anybody else tries to step into South America or Mexico or the Caribbean, we typically flip out as a country. And
not me personally.
Not us personally, but I mean, we as in the grand American experiment. We just love to just send our troops down there. And so a lot of things happen down there, but the biggest thing that happens is this is where Cinco de Mayo comes from.
Oh.
So yeah, Cinco de Mayo is a celebration of the Napoleon III's armies, the French army being defeated at the Battle of Puebla.
Yeah.
And so that's more important
and
in
now
America.
The white women's are like, let me get margaritas.
Margaritas and tequila. That's where that comes from. So that it's another form of independence from a foreign thing, because a lot of people don't really ever study Cinco de Mayo, and so they're always confused because they think it would be them overthrowing the Spanish if Cinco de Mayo is similar to July 4th.
Yeah.
Right, because we overthrew the British. That makes sense. Those were our colonial overlords. But like again, Mexico, France, all these different. It was all
Portugal.
this.
It was
Spain,
everybody was going. Mexico.
Everybody was going down.
All right,
south.
so let's move on, because I don't want to get lost in Mexico again.
No, exactly, and that's what happened precisely to his army and to the Austrian guy. He installed it. That guy eventually was executed by the Mexicans. And also there's a lot in there, and there's that whole book you covered.
Yeah. On our story report I did on the Hacienda.
Yeah. The book was just called Hacienda, right? Yeah, it was a haunted Hacienda book. Ultimately, Napoleon III's actions, the thing that will tie all this off is the Franco-Prussian War.
Sure. That sounds familiar.
It is a fight between France and Prussia. Now, Prussia is a German state. Remember how I told you earlier that Italy wasn't unified and the Germans weren't unified?
Yes.
Prussia was the biggest military power. And there's this guy there named Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck.
Okay, this is starting to sound like history class.
Yes, we're getting closer to things you might have heard of in history class. Otto von Bismarck was the prime minister of Prussia, and he tricked Napoleon III into starting a war. Because he needed the French to start the war so the Prussians could invade.
Got it.
And Otto von Bismarck, used a thing called Bismarckian theory.
Yeah.
And what that is you get all of all the people you want to get allied together, you give them a common enemy.
Yeah.
Give them a common enemy, and that common enemy will put all these disparate parts who usually are fighting together, and then you can unify them. And so he created this German unified confederation. They went to war with the French, so there's a grand German army against a grand French army. The Germans, under Prussian leadership, whooped the shit out of the French. They actually beat them so badly that Napoleon III himself took to the battlefield. This man is 68 years old.
Yeah.
He took to the battlefield to try to lead his troops personally at the Battle of Sedan.
Okay.
The French emperor was so out of his depth and so depressed about it at this point that a doctor that was in his entourage wrote this, quote, "If this man has not come here to himself, I don't know what he has come to do. I have not seen him give an order all morning."
Whoa.
He was just kind of stumbling around, depressed and confused. Napoleon personally ordered the troops to surrender and was then taken as a prisoner of war by the Prussians. When his wife, he has an empress at this point, when his wife back in Paris heard the news that the emperor and his army had been taken prisoner, she reacted by shouting at the emperor's personal aide, "No! An emperor does not capitulate. He is dead. They are trying to hide it from me. Why didn't he himself? Doesn't he know he has dishonored himself?" Everyone literally is like, "Dude, yourself." Like everybody. It's crazy. It's crazy how many people tell him to do it.
Yeah, especially because in the earlier part of the story, they were like, "Don't do it, man. Don't do it."
He kept trying to do it.
You got a lot to live for, man.
A new government was established back in France via a popular uprising.
Sure.
This government was initially called the Government of National Defense. It's later known as the Third Republic. Okay. This is the Third French Republic. And this is the one that will exist for a while.
Yeah.
Paris,
then after the Third Republic comes the Banana Republic.
That's a different place completely. We covered the Banana Republic, actually. We covered it in our Bernays episode.
Yeah.
About those down South America and in Central America. But the Third Republic is declared, and Paris is immediately placed under siege. Napoleon III spends the rest of the war as a prisoner of war in captivity.
Okay.
He spent the entire time begging the Germans to let him coup the new Third Republic.
They're like, "Bro, give it up."
He was like, "Listen, let me go back. I'll be the emperor. It'll be a puppet state, right?
Yeah.
I'll overthrow this new thing. And I'll do whatever you want, please."
Putin, I'll do whatever you want. I'll be your puppet prince.
And the Germans are like, "Dude, no one will listen to you. Everyone hates you now.
Yeah.
We're not sending you back." The new National Assembly officially removed Napoleon III as the head of state. And then Napoleon then is exiled with his wife and children to Great Britain.
Oh, they go back to England.
They go back to England.
Got it.
The Prussians win the war.
Yeah.
And the thing that's most important about this, when the Prussians win the war, they declare that Germany is now unified into a single German empire. Mm-hmm. And the man who will be in charge of that will be named the Kaiser. And that declaration is declared and signed in the Hall of Mirrors at the Palace of Versailles. The palace that Louis XIV, the Sun King, did. So Germany defeats their old nemesis, France, stands in their fucking headquarters.
They're like, "We're going to write our paperwork here, bitch."
Yeah, they literally sign, and again, which gives them further legitimacy. we not only defeated this grand empire over here that now we can declare our own.
Yeah.
And from that moment forward, a lot of land changes hands. A lot of things happen. The power balance of Europe is now shifted in a way that no one could process. And this is the building blocks that begin World War I.
Yes, that's why these names are.
Yes, all of these names are setting up what, like Bismarck is there.
Bismarcky.
No, not Bismarcky.
I can't do that. I can't beatbox. I love Bismarcky though.
I know.
His mom lived right near us when we were in South Philly.
Yeah. That's always weird.
Yeah.
There's like so many people that were like right around the corner from us in South Philly. We're like, oh yeah, that's Bismarcky's mom. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I feel like that should.
And Meek Mill's cousins were like.
Well, they were everywhere. They were everywhere.
Yeah.
There's so many Meek Mill
but
cousins.
But like specifically ones that I knew, and I'd be like, hey, how are you?
Yeah. But anyway, that is the story of Napoleon III, the emperor who just couldn't stop cooing.
Wow. I don't see any correlations between anything that's going on right now at all. No personality traits. Nothing.
None.
I am just horse blinders on.
No.
Because I was in prison and I got to buy a horse. Because how did we have money? It's about horse money is expensive money. I'm not letting this go. I know.
But no, that was it. It's a wild story. He's also, Napoleon III is one of those people that people always forget. Because again, Napoleon I at like Waterloo or that movie they made about him. There's that on the Apple TV. They had the guy, Joaquin Phoenix. Plays Napoleon.
Joaquin, yeah.
So there's like a lot of different stuff. Like people like dressing up as Napoleon I.
Yeah.
And his soldiers. And there's a romanticism around that. The War of 1812 and the Grand Army and all this different stuff. Napoleon III is from that weird period of history that everybody ignores and that we keep fucking repeating.
I think, I will say, I think that's might specifically be an America problem, because I feel like if we grew up and lived in Europe, in France, Germany, Britain, we would have had different history classes because their history is so much more intense. And with Spain, like, and Portugal, it just all keeps going back and forth. So like they know their history better than we do, because our American history is self-centered narcissism, where we're like, we're the coolest. We didn't do everything. Like we learned about World War I, but we didn't learn about this stuff because they were like, guys, we have to talk about what
I want you to know something.
Yeah.
I learned about this stuff in public school.
You did?
I learned about all this. How do you think I knew to look it up? Like I learned about this stuff in public school.
Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
You went to Catholic school. I cannot stress to you, they kept teaching about fucking angels instead of this stuff.
Well,
go ahead and check us out at promania500.net. Thank you to everybody who supports us everywhere. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and all those different things.